Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Wednesday's Tips and More. This is Rhonda Gibson with Gibson Girl Stampers, and today we're just going to visit a little bit about, we're going to start off with Genesis, and we're going to end with cleaning. It's the tip and the more. So anyway, let's get started. Today we're going to talk about Genesis 1. Genesis opens with the foundation of the solar system and the preparation of the land for inhabitation. If you're wondering, I'm looking at my notes. And the creation of life on the earth, all the 8 acts of creation are completed in the first 6 days, which we know that. If you're a Christian and you've been a Christian all your life, you know that this is the time when God basically created. He was here before the foundation of the earth, and he will be here after the earth. But we're just going to basically talk about Genesis 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Okay. I'm doing a Bible study basically where people are asking questions like, what is my purpose? Why am I here? What is the deal? And those are very important questions. And a lot of people say, well, we don't necessarily have to have a purpose. We were put here basically because God wanted somebody to talk to be a companion with, and that's true. And I believe that's very true. I believe before the fall of man that we were here to be fellowship with God, to be his companions. He created us in his image. So that means that he wanted somebody that was similar to him, not exactly like him in looks and man. Well, he would like for us to be in manners, I'm sure, but in looks and stuff. So we were created in the image of God. So we are similar in the way we look and all of that. Where we deviated was when we started listening to Satan and we began to act differently than we would if we were godly. And I'm not saying we're gods. Please don't misunderstand me, because that's not what I'm saying at all. And I'm just saying that God created us all, and he created us for a purpose. And in the beginning, our purpose was just to be a friend of God. And he still wants us to be a friend of his. He wants fellowship with us. And that's why we study our Bibles. That's why we praise and we sing and we go to church and visit with other people of like mind and all of that stuff. So he wanted us to be a part of his family. Pretty much that's what he wanted, was friend and family. And so he created the earth, and he created the heavens. And the heavens were created so that we would have a place to go once we left this earth. Um, and unfortunately, he knew that before he even created the earth, that we were going to fall and we were going to need a new place to go to, because this earth was no longer going to be a good home for us. So when we die, we go to heaven if we're a Christian, and if we die and we don't go to heaven, then we go to hell, and that's a whole other study. So anyway, basically, I wanted to answer the question today, why did God create us? And I think I've done so. He created us to be friends and family. And so you can read further into your Bible, and we will go over this probably next week, where he created man. So, guys, just remember that God is the massive creator. He created everything. He created the diamond that's in my rings because he created the coal that he allowed man to make diamonds from. He created the paper that I use for my paper crafts because he created the trees, and he created all of the pigments that go into my ink pads, and everything that we touch, God created. We didn't create it. We simply were allowed to discover some things so that we would have nicer things. And so anyway, it's a short lesson today. Just if you want to start reading Genesis with me, and I started with 1 today, chapter 1, verse 1, and just basically it just says, it's very powerful. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. How would you create something out of nothing? With your words. So this whole Bible is about God using his words. It's about him creating life, him creating everything that we touch. And think about what an awesome God that is. And isn't that somebody you want to be a friend with? Isn't that somebody you want to be a part of their family? I know it is for me. So anyway, that's our quick lesson for the day. I'm going to go ahead and shut my Bible and I'm going to move it to the side. And I'm going to try something today. We're going to talk about the silicone mat that I use a lot whenever I'm crafting. And mine looks like this. It looks like this and like that on the other side. And you can kind of see it's clear. You know, it's not clear, but you can see through it. But these things get really dirty fast. And so I just want to give you quick tips on how you can clean it. And I'm going to try something new today. I usually just run mine in the house and I run soap and water through it. But I'm going to lower the camera so if you get seasick or dizzy, close your eyes. I'll tell you when to open them. And we're just going to look at what the silicone mat does. Let's see if there we go. I'm going to scoot it. See if you guys can see it. I always have to go back. Okay, this is my silicone mat, and I have it on a blue towel at the moment. And as you can see, there's Goombas on it, and that's actually tape. And I use mine a lot, so I get tape. But if you watch, I can just take and use my finger, and I can roll that tape right off. And now I hope you can see it's on my finger. And I can do it again over here, and I can get all of these little Goombas off pretty easily, just rubbing my fingers over them and pulling it to me or away from me, whichever way works for you. And I just roll them up and get them off of here like so. And there you can see on my hand, if I can get them to unstick from me. And my frame just froze, so I don't know what you're seeing. There we go. You can see it right here. It's this little Goomball that just rolls around. Okay, but I also, last couple of weeks, I've been working on wedding invitations for my son's wedding. And I have some, I don't know if you can tell by looking at it, it was glittery, and that is gold glitter paint. Ah, there, it's really shiny. You can probably see it good. So usually I would take this, and all you do is you take it to the sink. You run warm water over it, put a little bit of soap on it, just wash it like you normally would. But let's say you can't do that and you're in a craft room and you really don't want to take the time to do that. This is what I do. I spritz it down. This is just water in this. I spritz it down on my thing and I rub my fingers over it, and you can see it's really, really, get some of that off of there. There we go. And that's just water. And then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to do the other side because I use both sides of it. I actually just kind of toss it to the side, and when I need it, I grab it. And so I'm going to rub that off. And this is what you would do if you was doing it with your sink, in the sink. You just do it the same way. Only I don't have a sink. So then I just take my towel and I dry it off like so. And I'm just drying. I'm going to dry the other side. Dry, dry, dry. And I'm thinking I might need to go in and go ahead and do it better in the house, when I have time. But right now, look at this. My Simply Chamois is very clean. It's got a little spot right there. That's gold paint. I can just take and swish it. Go like this. Dry it off. And it's gone. This is one of the easiest tools. What this does, what I use this for is if you watch my videos, you've seen me do it before. But if you haven't watched my videos, whenever I am getting ready to, tape on a small piece of anything on my cards, I use my Snell adhesive, and I use it to do that, and it gets on here instead of on my table and on my paper. If you get the tape on your paper, then you're sticking constantly to it, and that's not good. Also, I've been known to take my glue like this, and for those really intricate things, like I was working with the laser cut from our bird ballad set, I took this, and then you can take this and you take your sponge dauber, which I don't have one here, but you take your sponge dauber, you run it through it, you run it over. I'll show you that some other time. But as you can see, it leaves a little goomball there. So I have a choice. I can leave it there and let it dry. That's a choice. Or I could just take a Kleenex and wipe it up like so. Okay, now take my finger, get the rest of it off. See it bubbling up there? Wipe it off. and it's gone. And if I wanted to, I could clean it immediately, which normally I would not clean it immediately. I'd just toss it to the side and keep working. But guys, I hope that's a good tip for you. If you're one of those people who can't get to a kitchen sink real fast, but you want to clean off your silicone mat, that's how I do mine. So guys, I hope you have a great day. I hope that your week is going well. And for right now, I'm going to raise this back up. And there I am again. And I'm going to say bye-bye from this Gibson girl. You guys have a great day. Thanks for stopping by.